Okay, this meeting is being recorded, and then I am going to go ahead and call Mr. Morgenthau. Give me 1 second here. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Morgenthau, this is Jaime from Steinmetz calling regarding the LSC meeting.
Oh, great.
Okay, so we have Mr. Morgenthau on the line, and we have Alexandra on the line that just joined us, and I believe that is it. So just to let everybody know, we're going to start the meeting, and we have Adrian Pinocchio to join the line as well. I'm going to have to let everybody know that this meeting is being recorded, and anytime somebody else joins new, every so often we'll just let them know that they're being recorded as well. So we can go ahead and start the LSC meeting for today, and I will go ahead and mute.
Thank you, Mr. Jaramillo, for that. So we are today starting our Steinmetz Local School Council for the month of August 12th. I go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Vanessa Valentine. I am a parent representative and also the chair of the Steinmetz Local School Council. Could we go to a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sergeant, to interrupt. James Rudick and Cassandra just joined. Master Sergeant, go ahead with your roll call. Oh, we're being recorded. I'm sorry. I had to let you know. And Kelly Garcia is being admitted. Let me see here. So Kelly Garcia just joined, and just to let everyone know, we are recording this meeting.
Mr. Jaramillo,
Present.
Ms. Valentine,
Present.
Mr. Keelis,
Present.
Sergeant Davis, present. Ms. Russo,
Present.
Mr. De Jesus,
Present.
Ms. Hernandez,
Present.
Ms. Suarez, Ms. Lumpkins, Mr. Morgenthau,
Present.
and Mr. Martin. Eight members present. We have a quorum.
Thank you for the roll call. We're going to.
I'm sorry to interrupt. This is going to happen occasionally. We had somebody else join us, Veronica Durden Jackson, and just to let everyone know, we are recording.
Thank you so much. No problem with the interruptions. Item number 3 in our agenda, making a motion to approve the local school council agenda as presented.
Second.
Could we open for discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to suggest one change for number 9. If you could add to item A, just add that item A is closed session.
Okay, that's where it says executive, right?
Right.
Okay. You got that, Master Sergeant? Okay. Close for discussion. All in favor of approval of the local school council agenda? Roll call vote
With the amendment.
with the amendment. Sorry about that.
Mr. Jaramillo, Mr. Jaramillo,
Sorry, I was muted. Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Sergeant Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Mr. Morgenthau,
Yes.
8 yes, no no's, vote passed 4:06 p.m.
I was talking and I was in mute. The fourth item in our agenda is the approval of previous local school council minutes. I know that before this meeting, we were sent a package of documents to review. I hope everyone had time to review those documents. So I'm making a motion to approve the previous local school council minutes.
Second it.
Open for discussion. Close of discussion. Roll call vote.
Mr. Jaramillo,
Sorry, I was admitting somebody into the conversation. And Angelita Ruiz just joined us. Just note that this is recording. We're in the middle of a vote. Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Sergeant Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Mr. Morgenthau,
Yes.
8 yes, no no, vote passed 4:07 PM.
Great. We go to one of the important parts of our LSC meeting, and that's public participation. Before we go into public participation, I just want to take a minute to address everyone who joined us today for our council meeting. I'm glad to see the involvement, really glad to see that from various stakeholders, and appreciate your voice. As we enter into public participation as part of the agenda, I want to clarify a few meeting rules before we proceed. Number one, if you would like to speak, please submit and sign up with Master Sergeant Davis. Want to remind everyone, item number 2, everyone will have 2 minutes to speak. 3, remember please to respect each other's time before interrupting speakers. During public participation, the council members will not answer any questions, only listen to your comments. Again, thank you for your participation, and I hope that this is not the first or last time that you join us as the Steinmetz LSC. Out to public participation.
Ma'am, I had no emails to sign up, so if we want to just offer, we can. We still have a few minutes.
Yeah, that's why I gave them the option to just request it through you. That's okay. Do we have any public participation? Master Sergeant, has anyone
No,
requested?
ma'am. I was checking the email. No, ma'am, not at this time.
Okay. Then we move to the next item in our agenda, which would be the chair report. I just want to share that through the last month of our last meeting, I have been working closely with Mr. Jaramillo in regards to collecting the data needed to make our decision for items that are being voted on today. I also want to acknowledge our community partner. We had our meeting for sustainable schools. This is a meeting that involves parents, community, students, Steinmetz, and our nonprofit that runs our sustainable school grant. We got some reports. As an LSC chair, there is some concerns in regards to enrollment. So I'm eager to work with our partner to see how we're able to create new innovative programs or get creative with our program for the next school year. We are getting funding to support our students, and we want to make sure that through everything that's happening with COVID, everything that's just going on in the city, that we're providing our students the most needed resources. So 2 of the resources that we spoke a lot about in that meeting was tutoring, as our kids are going to be going into remote learning, and also social and emotional. So we are eager to see what that team is able to come up with in regards to resources, good partners that do this type of work, so we could continue to provide our students the resources that they need. I conclude my chair report at this time. Now we'll go to LSC committee reports. Parent advisory. Mr. Jaramillo, is there any update?
No, there's not.
We don't have a student report at this time.
No, we do not.
Okay. Athletic report, Ms. Russo.
Hey, for those of you who are unaware, I'm the athletic director, Ms. Russo. Just a couple of things. We're moving forward with CPS and IHSA following what will be fall sports. Steinmetz is at this moment planning to begin fall sports on Monday in correlation with CPS. IHSA opened fall sports this past Monday. We will be fielding boys and girls cross country for the fall, golf, and 16-inch softball. 16-inch softball is not an IHSA sport. That is simply a CPS sport, but it will be being fielded now in the fall. Other sports you probably have heard already on the news. The other fall sports, volleyball, soccer, football, cheer, have been moved to what is now called spring, and the spring sports have been moved to what is called summer. It's an interesting schedule, but we will see how it all goes, and it's all played out by IHSA. I do want to make a comment that we did have, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, Ms. Russo. Brian Natick just joined. Just so everyone is aware, we are recording this meeting.
Okay. I do want to say a couple of words that we did hold summer programs for the summer for conditioning under the CPS guidelines. I want to say our football coach had a small but very dedicated group of kids that came out every day. We had volleyball and cross country. They all practiced during the course of the summer, during summer sessions. We followed all the protocols, used all of the supplies that were given to us as PPE, took temperatures, submitted names to the board every day. But we had a very small but successful summer program. And if we're able to maintain that, we should be able to do just fine with fall sports. And that's pretty much all I have is athletics. Does anyone on the council have a question?
Thank you for your report, Ms. Russo. My only question is, do we have PPE, enough PPE for our students to continue to keep them safe as there are going to be having some activities?
So we really haven't gotten any answers from sports administration yet as to how that will be handled. Things like thermometers, contact-free thermometers have been purchased by coaches and by CPS to make sure that we are taking we're taking temperatures. We received some masks for the summer that were issued. But I have to say most of the kids, it's been made clear to them that they cannot attend sessions without having a mask with them, and they are all complying willingly because they are, in fact, so excited to be around other students. I think we'll be fine. I haven't had any official meetings with sports administration yet. I do have a meeting with golf this tomorrow for the golf league, and we'll see how that plays out. But I do think that we're going to be fine.
And Ms. Russo, if I could add, correct me if I'm wrong, we did receive wipes to clean down training equipment. We did receive the masks. We received bottles for students to refill so they're not using the water fountains.
Absolutely.
In addition, as a school, we purchased water bottles just in case a student forgets it or if there's a need. So we have that supply on hand just in case.
For sure. The most important part of that, we did receive hand sanitizer. It's sprays that each coach received so that they have those for the beginning and ends of all practices. But even better, we didn't receive actual wipes, but we received these sprays to spray down all the equipment. So spray and to be able to wipe down, especially using the weight room. That has been the one place. Most of the other sports have been in conditioning. Cross country clearly doesn't have any equipment that needs to be washed down. It's individuals running. Golf, they will have to probably wipe down their clubs. If they have their own, it might be different, but we'll work through that. And I'll find out at tomorrow's meeting. And then 16-inch softball will be an interesting scenario because we'll have to figure out social distance, just like Major League Baseball is working through it. We'll have to socially distance kids on the bench. using the bleachers that we have out on our new field. So we will have space to be able to socially distance. But yes, we were provided with quite a bit of materials that should get us through fall season.
Thank you so much for your report, Ms. Russo. Teachers report.
Uh,
Do you want to jump in, Master Sergeant?
I talked to a few teachers, especially the closer we get to school, the more they reach out. And they're one of the biggest concerns is, I mean, it's been addressed. CPS doing a really good job at the decision, the remote learning, the surveys went out, and all those other good things. But a lot of the teachers are now receiving emails from because they're teachers. And so a lot of teachers receiving email from their students. And last year, with the computer signs out and those things, a lot of that information, teachers we didn't know, and we feel sometimes more information that comes to us, we can help the students out. But I know one of the biggest issue with that is false information, and because that's what we had a problem with. So I think if there's some type of frequently asked questions, things to read through, information that be followed that we can pass out, because sometimes we are the first line that the students ask for information. We just want to get that information out to our students as soon as possible. And then one of the other issues that I know Mr. Harmill was taking care of is with computers. They just want to make sure that how we doing on computers, because we are going fully digital, because most of the teachers use their own equipment.
If I may, to just kind of couple with that, one of the things that's been really a little exciting, but also a little scary, is there's been a lot of PD offered lately, both by the network and also Steinmetz is going to be offering PD. There's a lot to learn about how to successfully use everything that's available. I have learned so much just in the past week about Pear Deck. I didn't even know what a deck was. And so I'm learning what all these things are. And I'm excited that next week there will be, Steinmetz is having, Mr. Spelney sent it out yesterday, professional development to help us teachers to figure out how to best use technology to help our students. So not just here's me talking at you, but interactive types of things that kids will find easy to use and friendly, so that there's a connection. I'm excited to learn how to do more with Google Classroom, especially Google Meets, where you can separate the kids into groups that you can monitor. So we want them working in groups and doing projects and individual work. And so I'm excited to learn more, and we're being given many opportunities to do that. And I think I hope every teacher takes advantage of that.
To address Master Sergeant, what he stated about teacher computers, we did purchase 100 Chromebooks for teachers, and they should be arriving by next week. And we will distribute the Chromebooks to the teachers. We have allocated and been able to source 250 Chromebooks for freshmen. We know that our upperclassmen, we've gone through the process of trying to get them, whoever requested devices, received devices last year. We have not collected them except from the seniors that have graduated. So we'll have some leftover devices to then address the upperclassmen. For the most part, they should be okay unless something broke over the summer. My main concern right now, or biggest concern, is to make sure that all the freshmen, because we don't know what technology they may or may not have coming from 8th grade or new to the district. So we do have enough to do a 1-to-1 ratio for freshmen for devices. Once freshmen are addressed, then we'll start with the upperclassmen to take care of any changing needs, as well as CPS does have a program for Wi-Fi. And we have partnered with the Million Project that supplied phones for our students in years past. They are going to be supplying Wi-Fi devices, and we'll be getting the application process to us so that we could put it as part of an FAQ to start addressing all of that. As you may or may not know, we're still, CPS is still in the process of figuring out what this is going to look like ultimately. And they will be providing a lot of information in the next few weeks as well. And we'll be forwarding that on to parents as well.
I have a question, either to the teachers or to Mr. Jaramillo. Are there going to be some kind of orientation for the kids or the parents coming up?
Yeah, there's actually a freshman orientation that's happening online tomorrow. There's in previous years we did everything in one day. What we're doing this time is it's going to be a series of orientations for freshmen. It's going to be one for parents and freshmen tomorrow, and then the following week is going to be more geared just towards students and talking about student life and activities and expectations. And then the specialized departments are going to meet afterwards with the same group, whether it be IB. Oh, excuse me, one second. Miriam Bimani, I am admitting them into the meeting. All right, Miriam Bimani just joined us, and just to let you know, we are recording. So yeah, we are going to have a series of specialized meetings, and then once we have the remote learning plan solidified and everything's ready to go, then we're going to do a series of recordings and town halls for parents to inform them of what exactly it's going to look like in preparation for the beginning of the school year.
If I may add, I said, there's a lot of things that are going on. I know we first started this remote learning, and then we went to digital learning last year. It was a little nervous, but it seems like every time CPS came out with something new, Mr. Harmil had a staff meeting, and we got the information.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that going through this year, we have a lot of confidence in our leadership. I would say that another good thing is that we're not only that we're well informed, the parents were really well informed. And the last thing I would say is that although school's been out the whole summer, my phone continued to go off with the seniors of Google Classrooms. The information continue to help these seniors in college. So I'm very pleased with seeing those things happen, especially with our post-secondary team. And I actually meet with Miss Daveye like twice a week, and it's always school talk, and the teachers are really engaged and happy to be coming back.
I had a question. What are we doing to increase the attendance? I mean, the number of students we have. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you, Ms. Morgenthau. I believe you're talking about enrollment.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a counseling team. Ms. Davaya is leading that effort, and they are calling all the freshmen that are on the list and reaching out and registering them as the few weeks have gone on. For the most part, they have been able to make contact with most students, but there's still a few weeks left, and they're still going through the process. People have also been leaving voicemails, and I've been getting those voicemails from the main office and giving them to Ms. Delvaya. She's reaching out directly. So even though we are challenged by not being able to meet in person and everything else, Ms. Delvaya and her team, she has two other people who are working with her. They've been able to make contact and to go through the list and update contact information and try to get students registered. And take care of any special requests that people are calling in or transferring from out of the district, so on and so forth. So that's where we're at with that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any non-teacher report?
No, ma'am.
Great. Community report?
No community report at this time.
Facilities or ground committee?
Yes, I'd like to ask Principal Jaramillo if he could update us on what's been going on as far as cleaning and other issues.
Yeah, so the engineering team and the custodial team, they've been continuing on the schedule to have the rooms prepared for the beginning of the school year. And so they're continuing that work by sanding the floors and updating, so on and so forth. We did not sustain any substantial damage from the wind the other day. We did have some insulation that was flown off the roof and it was found on the roof. The engineers already called to get some estimates to have them check it out to make those repairs, which will be paid by facilities. We just had a few branches on the school campus In regards to the girls' gym, they've already put down the logo and did a first coat of finish, and they are going to be probably applying a second coat either this week or next week, or the final coats, I should say, and then they're going to go through with the installation of the padding on the walls. Other than that, everything is on schedule as far as the building is concerned. But now, remote learning is going to be happening, so we still have more time even to go ahead and do special projects and different things around the building that needs to get done. We have a little bit more time to make sure everything's in place for when students return.
What happened to the roof?
There was a heavy windstorm the other day. Some areas.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, so it was basically insulation that flew off of some of the equipment up there on pipes and part of the air conditioning system. So that insulation just needs to be repaired, and that's about it. But we didn't receive any substantial damage to our roof or any other part of the building.
And how long will it take to get that repaired?
I don't know. I spoke to Charlie today, and I know that he requested an estimate. So they were sending somebody out. Facilities was getting somebody to come out. So I don't know if they made it by the end of the day, but hopefully we'll have that estimate in to facilities, and then they'll go from there. But it shouldn't take too long to fix once the order is approved.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Since we're talking about ground, I don't know if the council was aware that we were getting lots of community complaints in regards to the fields and an organized soccer league utilizing the fields while the fields were closed. So I want to, publicly say thank you to Jaden Chow, everyone that took the leadership in really trying to address the issues there. I don't think they're as bad. I think that, some community outreach should be done around that. But I did want to acknowledge that the district did address some of those concerns with us.
Excuse me. Well, I didn't understand. What's the situation on the field?
We had an organized soccer league utilizing the fields while they were closed. So they were jumping the fence, and there was some damage that was done to the fields because of that.
Oh, I see.
But they've been addressed.
I would say,
Has that been repaired?
Yes, it has.
Okay, great.
I go quite often, and I still run there in the morning and go quite often. I would say that the individuals getting involved and making sure that the community, do a little bit better job of respecting the field. Went a long way doing this year. 4th of July wasn't as bad as it was last year with the field. I know recently, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Harmon is aware of that, you go into the alley, even this year, get trash cans and bring them on the baseball field. But within the last month or so, it's been pretty clean out there, really, really clean. And I think the public is finally getting, the community is finally getting to respect the field because it's theirs too.
Agreed. Thank you. Now we'll go to principal report.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to go into the new business. A lot of the old business we kind of already discussed. So what I would like to do is I would like to share my screen with you. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and put a PowerPoint up on the screen for you to see. All right, so let me go back here. All right. So the first point that I would like to discuss, I'm not going to do my traditional principals report because we do have a lot on the agenda that we need to get through tonight. So what we're going to do is go through a few points that are on the agenda. So the first thing I would like to talk about is a little bit about the SRO vote and data collection and the process that we've done to collect data. As you know, Ms. Valentine mentioned earlier that we were provided with some data from CPS regarding a survey that was done in May by CPS. They had a series of town halls and different discussions with parents, communities, teachers, so on and so forth, and students, of course. And then they sent out a survey. The survey results focusing on the question 1, which was the summary of the response to, I believe our school resource officers, SROs, help to keep our schools safe. If you combine the somewhat agree, strongly agree, you can see the numbers there are a little small, but the strongly agree, there was 114 total respondents, of which 50 said strongly agree, 35 said somewhat agree, 17 neither agree or disagree, 3 somewhat disagree, and 9 strongly disagree. So if you combine strongly agree and somewhat agree, it's about 85 respondents, 74.6%. Neither agree or disagree, 17 respondents, which is 14.9%. And strongly disagree or somewhat disagree equals 12, which is 10.5%. The next slide I'm sharing with you is question number 9, and it states, given your experience with the SRO program this year, how likely are you to recommend that your school keeps them for next year? Total responses, again, 114, of which if you categorize the information into 2 categories, it's a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being highly unlikely and 10 being highly likely. So if you divide that in half, 1 through 5 on one scale and 6 through 10 on another, 79 respondents were in the likely half of the scale at 69.3%, and 35 responses were on the unlikely part of the scale for 31.7%. Again, I apologize for how small this is, but you can see the responses on the scale. Oh, sorry, I have 2 screens going on here. I clicked on the wrong one. So the next one, we decided in August to go ahead and do another survey. There was a lot that had happened since May until current time. So in August, we did a staff survey, and we wanted to see the responses of staff, parents, and students. So we did a staff survey, and the question was very simple. I believe the LSC should vote to either keep the SROs at Steinmetz or eliminate the SROs. Then we followed that question up with a written response asking for people to go ahead and write their response as to why they chose the answer they did. I've shared that with the LSC members, the written responses, but a summary here is there were 73 total staff members who responded. 18 wrote, they 24.7% voted to eliminate the SROs. 55, which is 75.3%, voted to keep the SROs. The next screen is the same exact survey, except we sent it to parents and students to their CPS emails directly, and to whatever email parents had on file. And basically, we had 119 responses. The breakdown for total parent guardian responses was 76, student responses 43, total responses 119. Of the responses combined, 86.6% said keep the SROs, and 13.4% eliminate the SROs. If you break that down to parent responses, parents 7.9% stated eliminate the SROs, 92.1% said keep the SROs. If you break down the student responses, 23.3% said eliminate SROs, 76.7% said keep SROs. Again, the comments that were written were provided to the LSC members for their review. So that leaves us, I guess I could leave it here on this screen. So that pretty much leaves us with the data for the LSC to consider. And so I'd like to present now, if we would like to present the motion as to whether or not we would like to proceed with keeping the SROs. So I don't know if Ms. Valentine, you want to propose that, or if you want me to propose it, and then we.
I have a,
You make a motion, I could second it.
Okay, we'd like to make a motion to keep the school SROs.
So I'll second that. Open for discussion.
I think there are some questions in the chat.
Well, they had an opportunity as
Okay, I'm just saying.
public participation.
I would say this.
I have, so I've been a parent at Steinmetz College Prep for the past 5 years. And I will share that back 5 years when I started at Steinmetz, there was a huge issue with our SROs. And I will be and about the hard work we do as a school to address those issues. So at the time when we had SROs that did not want to work with our students as mentors, and second, support in the school, we immediately called a meeting in our school, and we worked with the commander in the district at the time. And I must say, with the efforts of communication and talking, we were able to get SROs in our building currently that are working more with our students. I will share that it's not an easy decision, because I know that this vote is being very manipulated by different people's agenda. But as a parent, I would say that I saw an SRO team that didn't work to an SRO team that now is working with the school community and is a big support to the school. So as a parent of Steinmetz, I know that the data that we collected are not for the 1,200 students that we have in the school, but we try to engage. If our parents don't engage, our students don't engage when we're sending this information out, it makes it very difficult for us as we sit down and try to make decisions. As a parent, I have spoken to community residents that have supported, that don't. I have spoken to my son that are in the school, that are the ones that live with this day in, day out, and they feel safe with their SRO. So I wanted to share that little bit of background, because a lot of people will think that we're going into making a decision today to decide something that's so difficult without doing our research and without really taking time. I have taken my time to favor whatever vote I am to do today. But I wanted to share that history, because people sometimes don't know what happens in the school when you don't participate regularly from our meetings and just come into our meetings when there's this special vote. So I just want to acknowledge of the work that we've done, and that we will continue to hold the SROs accountable. We will continue to work with our SROs on ways to make it better and make our students feel comfortable on a daily basis at Steinmetz.
I believe Matthew had a question.
You go ahead, Mr. Matthew.
Mr. Morgenthau is on mute. So anybody that knows how to use the phone, if you can instruct them how to unmute.
And while we're doing that, I would just like to say that I like to commend the LSC, because they was open-minded with this question, didn't make a decision. And I would say when we talked about our CLWP, we started talking about student involvement, parents' involvement, their voice, and Mr. Jaramillo throughout the whole process, and continued to email us. Not one time he emailed us his thoughts. He emailed us the data that the teachers, the parents, and all those individuals. And I really appreciate that in order for us to make the decision. Our building is about education. Building those relationships with the SROs and the police is important. And I know that our SROs, especially within the last year, as Ms. Valentine talked about, they're a lot different. They have relationships with our students, relationships beyond law enforcement, beyond just being an adult in the building, but connecting our students with, not just by right and wrong, by making decisions, making better decisions, and also connecting them to jobs and opportunities. it's talking to them is kind of like having it is having a career person in there every day, and so students can make an informed decision. It's not even about that the law enforcement part of it. It's about that connection and having our building represent the community as a whole. And again, I'd like to thank Mr. Harmil for leading this process because it was very educating for me as a LSC member.
Hello, can you hear me?
Matthew?
I'm sorry, Mr. Morgenthau needs to unmute, but he needs to be told how to do that from his phone because I cannot unmute him from here. Does anybody know how to do this on a phone, how to unmute, what the command is?
I believe it may be *7.
All right, so Mr. Morgenthau, if you can hear us, hit *7 to unmute. I'm sorry, *6, *6.
Sorry, close enough.
All right, Mr. Morgenthau, if you can hear us, hit *6 and that'll unmute your phone.
I think the best thing with Mr. Morgenthau is to tell him to hang up and call him back.
Mr. Morgenthau, if you can hang up, we'll call you back immediately so that you can join in the conversation. And we have Kate W. joining our meeting.
Yes, I would like to say something as a community rep. Living here for the past, I would say, 25 years in this community, Steinmetz is unique. Steinmetz is more of a community, inside community school where everybody surrounding the school itself have a state in it. And I have spoken to many people in this community, and they are in favor of keeping the police officers at the school because they feel more safe for them and for their kids. So, I mean, this is something that, okay, we have a data, but we also have spoken to people in the community.
I think so, yeah.
All right, Mr. Morgenthau, you are connected now, so we can hear you.
Okay, look, this is different officers. Some are good, some are bad, and we've got officers who are doing their job. The overwhelming number of the parents, students, faculty all support the program. So let's just, I would say, go with it and keep in touch with the police and make sure we keep good officers who work well with our students.
If I may, I also just wanted to say that I am a parent at Steinmetz College Prep. I do have 2 children. One is a high school graduate from Steinmetz College Prep, and my other one is a senior. I've been working with Steinmetz College Prep for about 5 years now, with Vanessa, working day in, day out, trying to make the school, pushing forward, trying new innovative things, talking to parents, trying to get them in, working with parents, students, teachers, all of that. But like as Vanessa said, in the very beginning of this journey, we knew that there was a problem with our officers and we acted upon it. Nowadays, the school is not perfect, but we're making progress. And with the SROs that we have now, they're developing relationships and, we're building upon it. But the key to this is that we need to add more resources and more counseling services and more mental health services for our students, to where we could probably get to the point, maybe 1 or 2 years, maybe we won't need the need for an SRO. But at this time, based on the data, based on conversations that I've had with my own children that I have attended the school and with other parents, it's overwhelming. And this is not a decision that I took lightly, but it's heavy. It's a heavy decision. But that's all I had to say.
Just FYI, Esteban Rodriguez is joining. Bethany Morris has joined us, and I didn't catch the first name. Someone with the last name Schmidt. Just so everybody knows, we are recording this session. We can continue. Sorry.
Thank you, Cassandra. Any other comments? Okay, so we're closing the open discussion. Now we're going to a roll call vote.
Mr. Jaramillo,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Sergeant Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Mr. Morgenthau.
Yes.
8 yes. Motion passed, 448.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and continue to the next item on the agenda. Budget transfers. I'm sorry, budget transfers. So I did provide the LSC with some information regarding budget transfers. As you know, initially we were planning, of course, to open in September, and there was a few projects and things that needed to get done to be taken care of. So I'm requesting budget transfers an amount of $7,500 for building repairs. We need to have a surge protector installed in a computer lab. There's some lobby repair that needs to be done. And then we need to have some funding available for any issues or things that may come up as far as building repairs throughout the school year. In addition, I'm requesting to be able to transfer funds for $10,000 for the second part of the security radio and repeater upgrade, $10,500 for CDWG for Promethean boards. We're planning to buy 4 total, 2 for the science labs and 2 for the new STEAM labs. It is more cost effective to purchase Promethean boards, which are more interactive, than to buy a projector and hardware. So we thought this would be a better direction to go in. I am also requesting $5,000 transfer for PPE supplies. Although the board is providing us with supplies, there may be some refills or incidentals or other things that we may need to purchase. And I'd rather have that money on a line ready to be used just in case. Doesn't mean we're going to use it, but just in case. And if we don't use it by the end of the year, we could transfer it back to wherever we need to move it to. And then $1,500 for mailing and stamps. And this is a usual occurrence that may happen a few times throughout the year, but especially now with trying to communicate with parents. You know, we're doing it via email and text, but there will be necessity to send out some mailings. So those are the budget transfers. I guess I could put a motion to approve the budget transfers as stated.
I'll second that. Open for discussion. Close for discussion. Roll call vote.
Mr. Jaramillo,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Sean Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
I'm having trouble with my mic. Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Mr. Morgenthau.
Yes.
8 yes, no no's. Vote. Motion passed, 451.
All right, the next item on the agenda is student fees. So as we all know, during this crisis, parents, students are challenged for funding. Funding is being used to buy groceries and other things, and I want to make sure that we can help our families as much as possible by trying to be creative and figure out ways that we can try to reduce some of the load right now on parents. So what I would like to suggest is, for currently the fees are a total of $145 that we've been charging every year. And so what I would like to do is for the council to consider eliminating, we have two fees, an activity fee and we have a class fee. The activity fee is $90 and the class fee is $55. I would like for the council to consider voting on eliminating the activity fee for 1 year to save parents $90 and then keep the $55 class fee, but continue with the waiver process for those families in need. What is covered by the activity fee if we eliminate that? The activity fee is used for yearbooks, mailings, school newspapers, special materials, and special activities. The class fee covers consumables and other things such as art supplies and different things that a class may use. It's over and above the board allocations, and it's to support the educational program in a uniform and equitable manner. Fortunately, we do have other sources of income, such as some of the grants that we're working with and different sources, and donations and different things. So what I would like to suggest again is to basically eliminate that $90 fee. The only challenge is some of the things you need to consider is that a big portion of that fee is used to cover the yearbook. $55 out of the $90 is used to cover the yearbook. We're currently exploring other options, including reducing the cost of the yearbook by size, pages, the finish, the amount ordered, and maybe other companies as well. And we're also looking at some of our other funding sources as grants and different things to cover that. Right now, I don't have all the information. What I do is I'm going to make a promise that we will have a yearbook. It will look different because we are going to be spending time remotely, and kids will probably have to submit pictures and do a lot of, we have to think creatively. So I do commit to that, but I would like to discuss that in September, how it will be funded, so that we could have all the information regarding the yearbook itself. But we will be able to, in some way, to continue the yearbook, of course. Now, the only other challenge is that by not having an activity fee, we're not going to replenish the account that we use up, and there's not going to be funding in that account. Right now, we have a balance of about $353. So I would like to make a suggestion. We have events, different things that may come up. Maybe we want to purchase things for students. We don't know what remote learning is going to look like and what opportunities we want for students. And it's usually what teachers request to support the learning or special activities or incentives and different things. So what I would like to do is to suggest that we have two different things that we can do to replenish that account. We can move $10,000 from the activity fee into that account, into the student fee account with approval of the council, or we can move $10,000 from internal accounts from the summer school fees into the activity fee. Now, my recommendation is that we use the summer school fees money because that money is collected but from fees throughout the years from summer school. And it is basically the school's discretion to use it how they would like to use it. So that way we're not touching the class fees and we could continue to fund those supplies that are needed through the class fees. That money, the summer school money is probably the most flexible in our internal accounts that will allow us to put it in a different account to so that we're not hurting anybody else or anything else. So there's basically going to be two votes. The first vote I would like to propose is that the council vote to approve eliminating the activity fee for 1 year only, which would allow savings of $90 per family or per student.
I second that motion.
Open for discussion?
I would just add that that's a prime example of putting our student first. Thank you, Mr. Harmil.
Thank you.
Close for discussion. Roll call vote.
Mr. Harmil,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Son Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Mr. Morgenthau.
Yes.
8 yes, no motion passed 457.
Thank you, everybody, for considering that. The second motion I would like to propose is that we move $10,000 from the summer school fees into the student activity fees in order to have a funding source for any special projects or activities that come up this school year.
I'll second that.
I have a question.
Open for discussion.
Yes, I would like to know, I mean, why the number 10,000? I get kind of afraid when I hear that amount of money, but why 10,000?
So that's a great question. I mean, we can change it if you would like, but 10,000, we usually use a lot more than that in a school year. We use in between 30 to 40,000 in a school year. So 10,000, I figured would be enough for at least one quarter. But in addition to that, if you figure the amount of students that we have, if we're to have a school-wide activity of some sort or do something for students online and we're sending them things or whatever it may be, that, I mean, that's an average of, maybe let's say if you have, that's a few dollars per student. We're not talking, like $100 per student per se. So that's why I use that amount 10,000. But if the council is not comfortable with that, we can reduce it. It's just we would have to come back over and over again as we use it, if we use it.
No. The thing about this is that because the Board of Education is like back and forth of what we're going to do this following year, it kind of worries me that we don't know if we might be able. I mean, we might have to spend more than 10,000. We don't know yet. They haven't given us a certain thing that's going to happen, and that's the only thing that I'm worried about.
Yeah, I'll add to that this is our internal account, so those will roll over. It's not like they'll disappear if we don't use it. But if we do have more available in summer school fees, and there's some in activity fees that we could transfer over if we would like to push more over into that account. But I figured 10,000 would just be just enough, just in case. I don't know what that would look like the rest of the year, but it's just some kind of a buffer, a good way to have some leverage just in case teachers want to propose an activity. There's so many creative things that could come out of remote learning that don't necessarily mean the students have to be there for the activity. They may say, we want to do a special activity where they hire somebody to do something online with the kids or something. So it's up to the council. I mean, I just suggested 10,000. If you want to do more, you want to do less, that's up for discussion.
No. The question that I bring it up because I think we're too early in the game to know numbers. So that's what concerns me. That okay, say that you say 10,000, and at the beginning of the year we come up with something that the board wants us to do that might take more. We'll have to meet anyway to figure out how much. And if we're figuring out how much now, it's like, I don't know, putting the carriage before the horses.
Well,
Sir, yeah, can I just say, sir, that I think that we don't know the amount, but I think that if we just have this in our monthly LSC meeting report where we talk about this so we can see where is it, the balance and what we're using it for, that would help us know whether we need more or we need less and just continue to update it. But I think 10,000 probably, even though we don't know how much we need, whether it's too much, too less, it's safe to have this much for the first 2 or 3 months, but we won't be under. I think we can just continue to report this.
Yeah, I'll give you an idea of of things that come up. For example, when we had to consider buying water for the athletes just in case, that right there was a cost of $130, $150. That came from student activities. That's a student activity. We provided that for them. If that account goes zero, I can't wait a month to have a special meeting to come back to the council and say, we would like to provide water for our athletes. And I need you now to transfer money so that we can go through with that decision. It's just something that we've always had. We've always had a large number in that account. Unfortunately, again, yearbooks pretty much decimated that account this year, and we're down to $353. So we need to have some kind of buffer if there's going to be any type of activities for students.
And all this money goes to our students.
It's directly to our students.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because, there may be things that come up. I mean, there's so much new in technology that there may be some activities that programs that are on the computer that would really be beneficial for the students.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for your feedback. Close for discussion. Roll call vote.
Mr. Armillo,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis, Mr. Keelis,
Oh, well, sorry, I couldn't get off. Yes.
Sergeant Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Mr. Morgenthau.
Yes.
8 yes, no no's. Vote passed 5:03 p.m.
Thank you, everybody, for considering that. I appreciate it. The next item is school uniform, and that's actually not going to be a vote. It's more of informational. Due to the remote learning that's taking place in the first quarter and the students not returning to the building, I just want to communicate with parents, and I want to let the LSC know that usually parents buy a school uniform at the beginning of the school year. Since we're going to remote learning, there's no need to purchase uniform at this time. But we will supply parents with the information if they would like to buy it now and reach out to the vendor directly. We always supply the freshmen with at least one shirt at the beginning of the school year, and we plan to do so once we return to school. That's not going to change. And this doesn't change the uniform policy. Uniform policy will remain the same, and we will communicate it once, to the families. And once we return to the building, we will continue with the uniform policy. So I just kind of want to let everybody know that I'm not going to put out there that we're requiring parents to buy uniforms. When we return to the building, then that will be part of the process of returning to the building, and we'll have to adjust to give them some time whenever that happens. If families feel comfortable doing it now, they can do it now by all means, but we don't want that to be an additional burden on families right now at this particular moment. So I just wanted to communicate that, since we're going to be putting out a lot of communication to parents about the beginning of the year. Actually, I should go back. Any questions or anything about that? Any discussion?
Just so the parents know, because you know how even us as teachers, we put out a lot of misinformation last year. We do, because sometimes it's just the way you say things. We do. Just the students know that this is not something that's going to be for the following year. Even if we come back in January, how we're going to do that, and there'll be a transition, because even though there's no uniform and all those things, our freshmen are going to need some time. They just can't expect to come to school the first day of January and automatically be in uniform. So I just want to make sure that we communicate, what is appropriate, when we come back after that break. And many might not have the money to buy the uniform for a couple of days. So if we need to start looking at that transition back to uniform once we come back, if we come back second semester, sir.
I agree. Thank you.
There's no vote for this.
No, I just wanted to open up for discussion just in case. All right. Next item is LSC member retainment. So due to remote learning taking place, I'm sorry. We've talked about this, and we need to vote on it whether or not to send notices to Ms. Teresa Suarez and Ms. Stoke Lumpkins to inform them that they've missed multiple meetings and will be removed from the council due to non-attendance. The letter should inform the members of the opportunity to address the council during the September meeting and appeal their removal before it's voted on and made official. So I would like to go ahead and make a motion that we send out formal communication to Ms. Suarez and to Ms. Lumpkins so that we can remove them from the council and then go ahead with filling their vacancy. Before we go on, I'm sorry, there is a motion. Natasha Singh just joined us and we are recording this, but there was a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I could second.
Open for discussion.
I just, what action for the student? Because the student don't come either. Do we follow the same, because we can try to get another student as well because.
I think, Master Sergeant, the student that was there before, because there was no election done in April, and everybody that was on the council was to continue until November. I believe that the student also continues till November that was in the council. So I don't know if the student had been notified, but according to the LSC relations, every member that was there during this April cancellation of LSC voting in the new members,
Yes.
it should go till November.
No, and I'm with you. I'm just talking about it for, participation. I know the student time where it goes with us January or whatever. I'm just saying that we have a student position there and there is no attendance also. What do we do? Can we send that student a letter and try to get another student involved? So I just say that I know we're talking about the parents and any other adults that may not show up, but we also have to look at our student as well.
I totally agree with you, Master Sergeant. So it's something that we should follow up with LSC relations, make sure that we're doing everything by the process. I know, and I believe Mr. Jaramillo could clarify, there was an election for a new student to the student voice, so we verify that the student is
I'm sorry, Ms. Valentine, you're breaking up. If you can hear me, Ms. Valentine, you're breaking up.
do you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just wanting clarification. Did we elect a new student rep?
No, because we had the COVID and everything, so we didn't get around to having the student elections yet. But we do have some candidates. So we would have to have some kind of election, I would assume. But again, the motion on the table right now is not for the student. It's for Ms. Suarez and Ms. Lumpkins. So maybe we can find out and then get back an answer from LSC relations regarding that.
Open. We're in discussion. I thought it was important to bring all that. The other thing I wanted to discussion that we have some parents that were running for office.
You're breaking up again, Ms. Valentine.
Do you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know that we were going into an election, right? An LSC election. And we have some parents that were going to run for the next election. So we should engage those parents to see if they want to be involved before the election. So we should try to reach out to them before the next LSC so they could join us in September.
Yeah, I'm actually going to discuss that in after this vote.
Okay.
Go ahead and discuss that a little more in detail because right now we're talking specifically about two parents that are in positions that they haven't been coming to meetings. So we want to remove them from the council and then advertise. But then the other two positions we're talking about are the two parent vacancies, and that's going to be a separate vote right after this one. So the motion that's on the table right now is to remove Ms. Suarez and Ms. Lumpkins and send them official notice. so that we can officially remove them.
Yeah, can I say something? In order to put a motion to remove them, you first have to put a motion to send them a notification, and then we decide what's the next step is going to be, because either they resign or they get back to us that they don't want to continue, and then we close that position so we could vote somebody in. Right now, as it stands, we have to have this motion stating that we're going to send a certified letter to them to see if they're going to continue at the council.
That's absolutely correct, and that is the motion that I proposed, was to send written notices to Ms. Suarez and Ms. Lumpkins to inform them that they have missed multiple meetings and will be removed from the council due to non-attendance, and that they have the opportunity to address the council during the September meeting and appeal their removal before it is voted on and made official.
Yes, good.
Close for discussion. Roll call vote.
Mr. Armiel,
Yes?
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Ms. Aquiles,
Yes.
Sergeant Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus, Mr. De Jesus,
Looks like we lost on the call.
Can you hear me?
yes,
there
I
you
hear-
go. Good.
Yes. Sorry.
Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
and Mr. Morgenthau.
Yes.
8 yes, no no, vote passed 513.
All right, so Master Sergeant, would you be able to draft that letter, or would somebody be able to draft that letter?
I already have a drafted letter that I had last year. What I do, I can send it out to the chair and you, and then whatever you want me to do after that, if I have to go into the school and get stamps or whatever, just let me know. So I get the letter to you by COB tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So the next part of this is I would like to propose that we vote to advertise the current parent vacancies and ask parents to apply, especially since we have freshmen who are entering. Applicants will be considered and voted on during the September meeting in order to fill the temporary vacancy until new members are elected. A special effort will be made to reach out to parents who applied for the next election cycle, and they will be invited to apply, of course, to fill the vacancies. We only have one parent member to be considered at this point, who's currently not on the council. So basically, again, I'm just proposing a motion to vote so we can advertise the current parent vacancies, the two vacancies, and consider applicants to vote on for the September meeting.
I
I
second.
second that, Mr. Hadamir. I second that.
Open for discussion. Close for discussion. All in favor?
Mr. Harmiel,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Sergeant Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Mr. Morgenthau.
Yes.
8 yes, no no, vote motion passed 5:15 p.m.
All right, thank you, everyone. The next item is the LSC meeting calendar. So initially, when we had our organizational meeting, we said that we were going to have September and on, we were going to meet in the building room 128 at, I believe, 5 o'clock. Now that we're going virtual until November during the first quarter, I would like to propose that we vote to change September, October, and November meetings to be conducted remotely due to school being closed to in-person gatherings. And we would move the time to 4 o'clock, which is what we've been doing virtually.
I second that motion.
Open for discussion. Close for discussion. Roll call vote.
Mr. Jaramillo,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Sean Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
and Mr. Morgenthau.
Yes.
8 yes, no. Motion passed 5:16 p.m.
All right, thank you, everyone. And then the last thing is, I would like to make a motion that we go into closed session to discuss some personnel matters.
Second.
Open for discussion. Close for discussion. Vote for to go into closed session.
Mr. Jaramillo,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Sean Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Mr. Morgenthau.
Yes.
8 yes, no no's. Motion passed 5:18.
All right, thank you, everyone. I am sending right now a meeting for a room for closed session, and I just sent it to you via email. So it'll take a little bit of time for everybody to check their email and move into the closed session room. For everyone that's in attendance, if you would like to hold on, as soon as we're done with closed session, we will be returning and then concluding the meeting from that point afterwards. Would you like to say anything, Ms. Valentine?
Not at all.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so if all the LSC members could go to the link that I provided and make sure you're on mute on this particular channel if you're leaving this open. And then Mr. Morgenthau, I'm gonna disconnect you and we're gonna call you from the closed session.
Okay.
Okay. And I will go ahead and open up the closed session. And hold on, I have to mute on the other one. Okay, we will now be returning to our open session. I am going to allow members back in, so let's give everybody a minute to come back. And I am going to go ahead and call Mr. Morgenthau again so that he can participate with us. So give me a second to call him back.
La media has not fucking.
Am I in the right room?
Ridiculous.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Morgenthau is not responding. Let me try one more time to make sure I got the right number here. If not, we will continue from there. Hey, Mr. Morgenthau, we're back in open session.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All
now-
right. So we are returning back to open session. So I'd like to make a motion that we reopen the LSC meeting as we return from closed session.
I second that motion.
Open for discussion. Close for discussion. All in favor?
Mr. Jaramillo,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Sean Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine, I'm sorry, Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Mr. Morgenthau.
Yes.
8 yes, no no's, motion passed 553.
Thank you. So now we're at the final of our LSC meeting. I want to thank everyone that has joined us. Please don't let it be the first or last time you join us. We're here to continue to advocate for our Steinmetz students, our Steinmetz community. Is there any other final thoughts from council members? Anything else that we need to discuss?
I just think one thing, there's an old saying, every adversity has a seed of greater benefit. So let's take this opportunity to this remote learning thing and see if we can't develop new programs that will further enhance the education of our students.
Thank
Hello?
you, Morgenthau. Thank you, Mr. Morgenthau, for that. So I make a motion to adjourn our Steinmetz Local School Council meeting for August.
Before you adjourn, I would like to see if Sergeant Davis contacts the student rep for our next meeting.
Great.
Yes, I can definitely do that, sir. He's a JRTC person, so I can definitely do that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So again, Steinmetz, let's continue to be resilient. Let's continue to work hard for our students, for our community. God bless you. Be safe. And I make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I second that.
Mr. Jaramillo? Are we going to?
We have to open it for discussion.
Open for discussion. Close for discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Jaramillo,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Keelis,
Yes.
Sean Davis, yes. Ms. Russo,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Mr. Morgenthau.
Yes.
8 yes, no no's. Vote passed 5:56 p.m.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. I have to stick around until everyone exits the room, and then I could hit stop recording. So I'll wait till the room is cleared.
Thank you, everyone. Be safe.
Be safe. Thank you.